Hey, I'm going to read some more. I'm trying not to elaborate so much, but I don't know if y'all enjoy that or not, but the background stories that I give, um, if that is helpful, if you enjoy it. Um, so, anyway, I'll try not to do it quite so much and make an hour long, but I am babysitting and Little is asleep. And I got the weather on. Fern. Talking about Dallas. Okay, that's where Lucy used to live. Okay, so we are at, this is not a new chapter, but it's like a new chapter, but it doesn't have a name. So it's like continued. So she is spending the night in Los Angeles at the Beverly Hills Hotel, and Elvis is going to call her in the morning. Okay, and she has fallen asleep, I think. It's what I lay in the bed after he left, wrapped my arms around myself, drinking in my newfound happiness. I relived the whole wonderful afternoon, then drifted off to sleep. Okay, so the room was dark when I awoke at 8 that evening. I showered, changed into slacks and a casual blouse, then went outside to walk, think, and enjoy the night air. There was a park nearby with a trickling fountain. The calming effect of the water did little to quiet my mind. Why had Elvis re-entered my life? Where would it lead? The questions were overpowered by the opulent surroundings. The lights and luxury of Beverly Hills were disquieting. Young couples in expensive clothes walked arm in arm, showing off rather than enjoying each other. Every other car was either a Rolls Royce or a Mercedes. Beverly Hills wasn't my kind of place. Too much materialism and too little heart. The sanctity of the lonely hotel room suddenly became appealing. I ordered a club sandwich from room service and stayed in the rest of the evening. The prospect of facing the displays of wealth again the next morning was disturbing. I called the airline and booked an earlier flight home. Come on, Lucy, stay with Elvis. He's trying to visit you. And you're going to leave? Oh my God, he's not going to be happy. Elvis called late that evening. He said he had tried earlier, and she had been out walking. He admonished me for going out alone, then said he wanted to come back to the hotel. That would lead to more temptation, and at that late hour, I would be weaker. I made the excuse that I was tired. He said he would come by in the morning. When I told him my new flight reservations prevented that, he became upset and accused me of shutting him out again. Yep, and I can see that. Then he offered to give me money. We went through the old argument. I finally exclaimed, "There is no room for the exchange of money in our lives." Something about that struck him as funny. "I ain't asking for any from you, baby," he said, laughing. Oh, that's funny. He gave me his phone numbers in Memphis and Los Angeles and said not to worry if they were disconnected. The fans often discovered his numbers and he frequently had to change them. If that happened, he told me to call his uncle Vester Presley, who is his dad's brother, and he gave me that number. I couldn't shake, Vester was a guard at the front gate. I couldn't shake the feeling that Elvis wasn't happy. It bothered me the rest of the night and the whole way back to Dallas. Maybe it was his career. We didn't talk about that. It wasn't my place. He would tell me in his own time. Dadgummit. Ugh. Can't believe she only got to see him for that one little bit. Okay. The next few months were routine. Work, CCD classes, another opera recital, and the family. My children surprised me on my 31st birthday that October by chipping in to treat me to dinner at a fancy restaurant. We had a great time, but I couldn't help thinking how nice it would be to spend at least one birthday with Elvis. When we returned home, Jack said that some creep had called. See, Jack doesn't know about Elvis at all. When Jack said that some creep had called, he said it was a Mr. Jones, Elvis called again a few hours later to wish me happy birthday. He mentioned sending a note, a rose. Although he was struggling to sound upbeat, it was obvious he remained depressed. When I went to my room, there was a single red rose on my desk. The card read, "From an admirer." That is one thing I forgot to mention from the conversation on the phone the other day, or when she got to the hotel and there was a single red rose. That was something that he did throughout their whole relationship, would send her a single red rose, and he would say, "It contains all my love." That's just sweet. That's sweet to me. Despite my busy schedule, so this is October. Her birthday's in October. So he called her in July. They met in early August, and now it's October. Despite my busy schedule, I began to feel more and more restless. To combat it, I caught volunteer fever, signing up with the International Visitors Committee and the Council on World Affairs, both branches of the federal State Department. I also placed my name in the language bank to interpret for French-speaking dignitaries. One day in mid-November, I was home rehearsing some songs for church. Debbie was playing the piano. The phone interrupted us. It was Elvis. He sounded angry and frustrated. He said he missed me and wanted to see me again. I told him we had to be strong. We talked about singing for a while, and that calmed him down. We discovered that we both had recently sung the same song, "You Don't Know Me." Elvis had included it on one of his movie soundtrack albums. I recorded another song that made me think of you, baby. "Stand By Me." Will you stand by me, and do you really know me? So I'm going to put "You Don't Know Me" because that's a good one. I'm going to put a link to that. He says, "Will you stand by me, and do you really know me?" Yes to both. I told him his voice was maturing, and he sounded better now than ever before, hoping it would cheer him up. It didn't. He sunk lower and complained about working so hard. That was telling. Before the movies and recording sessions had been nothing but fun. Now he viewed them as tedious labor, as if he were working in a coal mine. Hunting for a topic that wasn't upsetting, I asked him if things were going well at home. That was a mistake. "Are you happy?" he countered bitterly. "Tell me you're happy without me, and I'll be happy." I couldn't say anything. "Doesn't sound like you're happy to me." "Well, I'm going to do something about it. I'm going to end my marriage real soon. It's not working. It's not what I wanted. I want you." "You can't, Elvis. She's pregnant. That would look horrible. No matter how you feel, please wait." "But what about us?" "If it's meant to be, our time will come. But it can't be now, not under these circumstances. Everybody telling me what to do, what I can and can't do with my life, who I have to marry, what to sing, what stupid movie to be in. When does it stop? When is anybody going to think of me and what I want?" He was about to explode. I said nothing. There was a long pause. "I'm not blaming you. You're right. You're always right. And I know how it hurts you to tell me this. You're really something special. That's why I need you." "I'm sorry you can't find peace, darling. Please be patient. Things will change." "Not soon enough. They can try and run my life, but they can't take my dreams. Tonight, I'll be back with you on our hill in Memphis. Want to come?" Look at that. He remembers that hill in Memphis. "Sure. I know the place well. I go there all the time myself." "Things were so much better then." "Well, maybe not for you. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that." "That's okay. Really, it's over. There are no scars." "You don't mind if I remember?" "No. I remember only the good times with you. You can talk about it all you want. We've got to meet again soon. Maybe. We'll see." My heart was heavy after he hung up. He seemed so sad and lonely. What was going on with him? Was there something I didn't know? Elvis was serious about ending his marriage at this time, even though such a move could have mortally wounded his career. In her book, Elvis and Me, Priscilla wrote that at this time, Same time, Elvis summoned her to his office at Graceland and started talking about a trial separation. "It's not you," she quotes her husband as saying. "It's just that I'm going through some things." Priscilla said she was shattered and angry and threatened to leave. A few days passed and nothing more was said. Elvis never elaborated, leaving Priscilla to speculate that he was worried over whether his fans would accept him as a father. And yeah, that is true. I read that in that book, and he does. So he's found Lucy. So I think Priscilla is like 7, 8 months, 6, 7 months pregnant. Maybe not 8, but more 6 or 7 months pregnant. And he calls her into his office and said he wants to do a trial separation. And I remember the first time I listened to that, it was before I knew what Priscilla was really like. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe he did that. Because I'm all hearing it from her perspective and her, her words and her narrative, but not Elvis's. And anyway, yeah. But then he's like, never mind. I'm just going through some things, but we don't have to do a separation. Oh my gosh. Okay. December was hectic. Working, juggling the finances, and buying Christmas presents for my 6 children. They were all deserving, and not all were children anymore. Debbie was a woman of 19. She is already older than Lucy was when she met Elvis, and way older. I mean, when Lucy was 19, she had 3 children, I think. Definitely 2. I can't remember when that third one came, but I think it was before she was 19. Melody was equally mature at 17, and Denise was 13. Desiree was 9. Jacques, 6, and little Jacqueline was 2. On Sundays, we would all go biking or horseback riding and have a picnic in the country. Through my children, there was happiness in my life. A few days before Christmas, we were practicing Christmas carols and other songs for church. Jack was working. Despite his law degree, he enjoyed selling cars and kept the job. It surprised me, but when we discussed it, he always got angry. The phone rang and interrupted our singing. I'll have a blue Christmas without you. I was stunned. It sounded like Bing Crosby. Then something clicked in my head. Bing, I told you not to call me at home anymore. There was a strange silence on the other end of the phone. I couldn't hold it anymore and started laughing. Elvis finally joined in. You had me going for a minute there, baby. So how are you, El Lancelot? You're quite a mimic. Remember how she said in the beginning how he sounded so much, that first time she heard him, he sounded like Dean Martin and Frank Sinatra. And I've read that he could sound like, he really could make his voice sound like other people back when he was younger, before he had his own style. So he was good at imitating other singers. Honey, I wish you were here with me. Are you all right? I asked. What is it they say? Loneliness and pain help you grow? I must be 10 feet tall. I'm sorry. Is there anything you want to talk about? Yeah. When can we talk? How about tomorrow? There was no way I could see him with Priscilla so close to having their child. She needed him. I knew the agony of having a child alone with no one around to love and comfort you. I wouldn't wish that on anyone. I'm listening now, I said. He paused for a brief moment. I want to laugh again and talk and walk with you. I want to go back in time, young again, me and you, the way it used to be. You can go back in your mind. That's not good enough. Come on, promise me you'll have a beautiful Christmas, and know that I'll be with you in spirit. It'll be an effort. Your child will be born soon. That'll make you happy. You wait and see. Saying that made me think of our child. Someday, when the time was right, I would tell him. Honey, when part of your heart is missing, it's hard to be alive, he said. You know, we've never spent a holiday together. Did you know that? I know. Oh, by the way, I have something to tell you, I said. I've prepared some beautiful songs to sing at midnight mass. I'm dedicating them to the memory of my mother and your mother. You'd like them. I'm singing O Holy Night, Joy to the World, and Mallett's Lord's Prayer. That's beautiful, baby. Mama will like that. You never met her, and I never got to meet yours. They're happy, Elvis. I can feel it. Maybe they are together, unlike us. Try and be happy, okay? Life is too short. I will, just for you. I love you. Merry Christmas. He was worse than ever. What was happening? What could I do? Go to him? No, not now. We had to wait. He called again shortly before New Year's. He was rushed, and there were voices in the background. We spoke briefly. He didn't call me again until February. He told me they had a baby girl and named her Lisa Marie. Now I was depressed. In my heart, I was hoping he'd have a son. My mind went back 9 years to a hospital in Alexandria where our daughter was born. How much longer could I live with the secret? The older Desiree grew, the stronger my guilt. He had missed 9 years of her life. She had missed being with him. I wondered if I was doing the proper thing. He had a right to know about Desiree. Desiree should know her father. But there were so many complications, especially now that he was married and had a child. As always, it wasn't our place to intrude. Time passed. Like Elvis, I began to grow more unhappy. He called in the late spring and said he was preparing to do a television special. He was excited. He hadn't performed in anything but those movies in nearly a decade. I'm scared, man, he said. I need you to pray for me. I certainly will, and don't worry. There isn't an entertainer in the world who isn't scared before they go on stage. You'll be fine. You wanted to go back to the old days. Now you can. You always make me feel so good. Why? I know why. You know me as myself, without all this other stuff. I need that. Someone has to be around who knows me. The people know you. Not those around you, but the fans. They remember. They love you because you give love in return. Remember that. They're your friends. I have a feeling you're going to be performing in a spectacular way very soon. I don't know why, but I'm certain of it. So you've got nothing to worry about. You really believe it? I know it. You'll see. By the way, how's Lisa? She's fine. I'm trying with this marriage. He stayed on the phone as if he didn't want to hang up. He really was scared about performing again. Why had his manager done this to him? Live performances made him famous. Now he was trembling at the thought. It didn't seem logical. So much happened after that. I found a 3-bedroom brick ranch house, and over Jack's objections, I bought it with money I had managed to save. It was a lovely place that sat on a hill overlooking a creek. We were packing and preparing to move in early June when the phone rang. It was a friend. She was crying and told me Robert Kennedy had been killed. We had worked together on his presidential campaign in Dallas, and I was a precinct captain. That made it personal. So much violence in the world. We settled in our home, and the summer passed. Wait a minute. So where did she find this house? A 3-bedroom brick ranch house. I don't know why she did that. Maybe Jack doesn't go there. I don't know. I don't know why she bought this other house. We were packing and preparing to move in early June when the phone rang. Oh, I read that. We settled in our home and the summer passed. I had asked Elvis a number of times when his special would be on, but he never knew. See, in the summer of 68 is when he filmed it. So they had a lot of parts of the special are pre-recorded. And then he did a live performance when he was on that white stage in the middle of the crowd. And sometimes he sang by himself, and sometimes he had some other musicians with him. And they did 2 tapings of that live version part. in June. I think one of them, Mom, was on your birthday, June 25th, 1968. And then it would be broadcast in early December. It was supposed to be a Christmas special, but he and the director went kind of behind the Colonel's back and didn't sing. Obviously, if you've seen the 68 special, you know it is not Christmas. Elvis is like, I'm only going to sing songs that I want to sing. And but they did sing one song. They sang the Blue Christmas song. They had to have one song. The Colonel's like, you got to have one Christmas song in there. So they did that one. I'd asked Elvis, okay, so they would settle in their home and the summer passed. I asked, so he's recorded. He's done all his recordings. I'd asked Elvis a number of times when his special would be on, but he never knew. I didn't pay attention that closely and ended up missing it. Oh my gosh. When it aired in early December, maybe I didn't want to see it. Elvis had continued to pressure me to renew our relationship. All my instincts, not to mention my religion, told me it would be wrong. My resolve was strong, but the flesh was weak. How do you say no to the only man you've ever loved? Missing the special was probably the best. Elvis didn't call for a long time after that. There were no Christmas or New Year's calls. I missed him, but what troubled me even more was he had been so unhappy when he called and had never explained what was bothering him. So Lisa Marie was like 9 months, 10 months old at Christmas. There's a lot of video footage of Christmas at Graceland that year. And little Lisa Marie, Vernon dressed up like Santa. And Elvis is trying to make this marriage work. But I think I told y'all she had an affair right after Lisa Marie was born. And that she brought the guy with her to the taping of the 68 special. So she's been having an affair now for probably 6-8 months. Oh, poor Elvis. Okay. Desiree began getting more proficient at the piano. She surprised me with the difficult compositions she played flawlessly. Pieces like Duran's Waltz, selections from Chopin and Czerny, along with pop tunes she picked up by ear. She's got Elvis's musical talent. She was 11 and began teaching Jacqueline, who was 4. One night, after they finished practicing, there was a commotion coming from their bedroom. Desiree came running out and said, "Mommy, my nose doesn't look like a man's, does it?" I told her, of course not, then explained that little girls can take the features of their father, adding that I look like my father. But this isn't my dad. I had no idea what she was talking about. Because, see, she thinks her dad is Jack, I guess. Or maybe the man that died. Because, see, the man was the father of the 3 other girls, and she might think the man is also her father. Ware, W-A-R-E was his last name. She was Lucy Ware, and then all the kids are, all of her children are last name Ware, W-A-R-E. I had no idea what she was talking about, but suspected that a trip to the bedroom would shed some light on the situation. I entered the room and almost fainted. The girls had plastered the wall with posters of Elvis. He was everywhere. The kids all grew silent and stared at me. They must have noticed something because no one said a word until Desiree finally spoke up. "What's wrong, Mommy? Don't you like him? This guy at school gave out tons of these to everyone. He's neat. He's a singer named Elvis Presley. Have you ever heard of him?" I recovered enough to say, "Of course. I haven't lived in a cave." Denise said, "I have the same nose he does, and he's a man." The blood was rushing to my head. I felt a little dizzy, but tried to maintain composure. It was just a coincidence, but it was the kind of thing Desiree would remember when she learned the truth later. Well, I wouldn't mind looking like him. He's so handsome. The joke's on them, Rome. Everyone laughed except Melody. She kept staring at me. That was trouble. Melody is an artist and is unusually perceptive. She is sensitive to emotions, vibrations, and facial expressions. Fooling the others was hard enough. Hiding my secret from her was becoming impossible. She stared at me strangely the rest of the evening. I tried to avoid her. The next day, she couldn't contain her curiosity any longer. She cornered me. Mother, did you know Elvis Presley? Honey, why do you ask? The way you looked when you saw those posters. Was he your friend? It was a direct question. I couldn't lie to her. Yes, Melody. He was my friend and still is. We met a long time ago. We never get to enjoy our friendship much anymore. He's so busy. Darling, please don't mention it to anyone. You know how horrible Jack can be about my friends. Melody looked at me, waiting. She wanted to know more. I explained that life is a constant evolution. Everything changes. You can have friends and still care deeply for them, even though you can't be with them because of circumstances. She accepted that, or maybe she perceived that a clear explanation would not be forthcoming. All right, some research by the author. Melody clearly remembers that day, so he talks to her. We rarely had posters in our room, she recalled. This was unusual. One of my sisters, I can't remember who, brought them home and we put them up. We were all crazy about Elvis. When Mother entered the room, her reaction was so strange. You'd expect her to laugh or be indifferent. Instead, there was this look in her eyes, a deep sadness, and it was personal. I had been noticing things like that for years, and it always involved Elvis Presley. This time, she had one of the strongest reactions I'd seen, probably because she was caught off guard. When my sister mentioned how his nose looked like Desiree's, the sadness in Mother's eyes changed to terror. It was like she didn't want the connection to be made. At that time, none of us had a clue about the truth. Not a clue, especially not Desiree. She was even more upset than Mother, but that was because she didn't want to have a man's nose. I thought about all this the rest of the evening. Mother had so many closed doors in her life. There was so much none of us knew. The next day, I asked her about it. For the first time, she opened one of those doors, just a crack, and told her that, yes, they were friends. Yes, she knew him. They were friends. All right, back to Lucy. Life dragged on. It was so hard to believe that with grown daughters and all that had happened, I was still only 32. Even so, there didn't appear to be much life ahead. Love for me seemed destined to be nothing more than a few vivid memories. Someone once said, love is the life of the soul. I added my own continuation. It must flow through channels from one to another, or it drifts into a dormant place to die. My love had been drifting, but it hadn't died. Elvis called in mid-January, so this will be January of 69, I guess. That's what I'm thinking. Elvis called in mid-January. Is that right? 69. So he didn't call Christmas of 68. No New Year's calls. No idea what he was talking about. Oh, okay. So I guess that they put those pictures up was in early January after they started going back to school. Like January 6th or 7th or 8th. And Elvis called like a week later or so, a week and a half later. He said he was in Memphis recording. He was stressed and extremely upset. The urgency in his voice was frightening. I thought something terrible had happened. I've got to see you. Come to Memphis. I'll arrange everything. I need to talk to you. There's so much going on you need to know. Are you all right? No, that's why you have to come. This was different than before. Something was definitely wrong. I couldn't deny him now. I'll come. Is anything wrong? Oh, God, baby, I tried to do what you said. Now I gotta see you. He wanted me there tomorrow. A ticket would be at the airport and everything would be arranged. The desperation in his voice prompted me to agree to everything, even the short notice. I delegated authority to Deborah and Melody and told them there was urgent business in Nashville. I couldn't say Memphis because Melody was getting too smart. So she told him that she was going to Nashville. That night, sleep eluded me. My mind was overflowing with guesses about Elvis's problem. The next morning, I didn't pay as much attention to how I looked as before. This was a mission of mercy. Elvis had called for my soul, not my body. He wanted a comforter, not a lover. So he told her, I tried to do what you said about making the marriage work. And what about this Melody? Melody figuring things out. Melody figuring things out. All right. Well, I don't think I have anything to add to this. We're just going to stop there. And we're in January of 1969. All right. I will talk with you guys later. And hope you enjoyed this reading. Okay, bye.